A few weeks later, Akam found out she was pregnant. She told her mother about it first. Ehi jumped up in joy. "This is our key. This is how we will tie Agbanyu to you." When Agbanyu was told about the pregnancy, he was speechless. He denied the pregnancy at first, but after much pressure from Ehi and Akam, he accepted slightly that he may have been responsible for it. Ekowo heard the news from a neighbor. She ran home crying, unable to believe what she had heard. Her mother tried to act surprised, but it was clear she was supporting Akam. "Why would you do this to me, Mama? You knew how much I loved him." "Love? What kind of useless love? That man was meant for Akam. He has made his choice, so deal with it," Ehi said coldly. Ekowo cried for days. Her heart was broken. She felt betrayed by Agbanyu, her mother and sister. Ehi insisted that her daughter was not going to give birth out of wedlock. "You must marry her or I will tarnish your reputation," Ehi warned. Agbanyu eventually agreed to marry Akam, not out of love but out of obligation. Life moved on slowly for Ekowo. She buried herself in work. Her love for teaching kept her going. She avoided Agbanyu and Akam completely. One day a visitor named Prince Emosh came to her school. He was the first son of the king of Otakpo. He had just returned from the United States. He had passion for education and wanted to see the condition of schools in the area. He made an unannounced visit to Otakpo Community School. As he walked through the school compound, he heard someone teaching biology with such passion and clarity that he had to stop and listen. It was Ekowo. He watched her teach and was impressed. After class, he approached her and praised her work. "You are an excellent teacher," he said. "Thank you, sir," Ekowo replied with a small bow. A week later, Prince Emosh quietly visited Otakpo Community School again to check on the new school library and laboratory project he was funding. But truthfully, that was just an excuse to visit. He had been thinking about Ekowo for days since their first conversation. There was something about her gentle voice, kind heart, and wise words that stayed in his mind, unlike the women he had met in different parts of the world before. Ekowo didn't pretend or try to impress him. When he arrived at Otakpo Community School, the children were outside for physical education. He asked one of the teachers, "Where can I find Miss Ekowo?" "She is inside the science lab, my prince," the teacher replied. Prince Emosh walked quietly to the lab. Through the window, he saw Ekowo writing on the board, explaining something to a small group of students. She was patient and warm. He smiled. After class, he waited for her outside. "Good afternoon, Miss Ekowo," he greeted. Ekowo turned and was surprised but happy to see him. "Good afternoon, Your Highness. I wasn't expecting to see you today. I just wanted to check the progress of the projects and perhaps see a good friend." Ekowo blushed lightly. "Thank you. That's kind of you." They walked around the school compound, talking about the education system in Nigeria and life in general. Emosh was drawn to her humility and deep thinking. When it was time for him to leave, he said, "I would like to come again, not just for the projects, but for you." Ekowo smiled shyly. "You're always welcome, Your Highness." He laughed. "Please, call me Emosh." That evening, as Ekowo walked home, her heart was full. For the first time in a long time, she felt truly seen and appreciated. From that day, Prince Emosh visited more often. He brought books for the students and even joined some of their classes. Everyone in school noticed he spent more time with Ekowo. Their friendship grew stronger. At first, Ekowo found it hard to believe a prince could love someone like her, the daughter of a trader and hairdresser. But Emosh never made her feel small. He always listened to her ideas and respected her train of thoughts. One Saturday, he invited her to the library site to see the progress. After the tour, he brought out a picnic basket and said, "Let's eat under the mango tree." They laughed, talked, and shared stories. Then Emosh looked at her seriously and said, "Ekowo, I think I've fallen in love with you." Ekowo looked down. "You're a prince. I'm just a village teacher." He took her hand gently. "You're not just anything. You're everything I've ever wanted in a woman and more." Tears welled up in her eyes. "I don't know what to say." "Then just say you'll give me a chance to show you how much I love you." Ekowo nodded slowly. "Yes, I will." And that was the beginning of their beautiful relationship. They kept it private, especially from Ehi and Akum. They kept their relationship private, especially from Ehi and Akum. Meanwhile, life was taking a different turn for Agbenu and Akum. Months after the wedding, life became very hard for Akum. Agbenu spent most of his time outside. He began to cheat openly. When Akum tried to confront him, he shouted at her, "You trapped me. I never loved you." Sometimes, he even hit her. Akum would run to her mother crying, "Mama, he doesn't love me. He says he was forced to marry me." Ehi would try to calm her. "Marriage is not always easy, my daughter. Be patient and prayerful." But even Ehi knew that the marriage was falling apart. She had lost control over the situation. One night, Agbenu came back home with another woman drunk. Akum's heart was shattered. She confronted Agbenu, and Agenu became really angry that he hit her and threw her outside of the house. "Useless woman. Get your things out of my house and go and meet your useless mother," he shouted, slamming the door. The next day, he tried to settle things amicably between the couple, but got the insult of her life. "Madam, please. You and your daughter need to leave my house. She has turned me into something I never imagined I could be. I don't love her, and I will never love her." "I need a divorce," Agbenu said firmly. Ehi left with her daughter that day in shame. Akum cried all the way back home, and Ehi tried her best to console her. However, after some months, Prince Emosh proposed to Ekowo. "I love you, Ekowo, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Will you marry me?" Ekowo was shocked. "Are you sure? What about your family? They will love you, just as I do. I want you to meet them." When Emosh took Ekowo to the palace, his parents welcomed her with open arms. They said they had never seen their son so happy as he had been this past few months. One Sunday evening, Prince Emosh came to Ekowo's house. Ape was outside receiving fresh air while Ehi and Akum were inside the house. He greeted everyone politely and asked to speak with them. "I would like to marry your daughter, Ekowo," he said confidently while presenting an expensive wine to Ape. Ehi almost dropped the bowl in her hands. "Marry Ekowo?" she asked in disbelief. "Yes, Ma. I love her and I want to make her my wife." Ape looked at his wife, shocked but happy. He had always known Ekowo was special. Ehi forced a smile. "Of course, Your Highness. You are welcome to our family." After he left, Ehi sat in silence. "How did this girl find a prince?" she muttered in disbelief. Akum was boiling with jealousy and regrets. "It's not fair," she said, looking shocked like someone who had just seen a ghost. But there was nothing they could do this time around. Preparations for the wedding began. Ekowo kept things on the low to avoid unnecessary drama. The whole town buzzed with excitement at the news. Invitations were sent and guests came from all parts of the country. The ceremony was held in a grand palace hall in Makurdi. Emosh and Ekowo could not stop smiling, like a princess from a fairy tale. When Ekowo walked down the aisle with her father, the whole stood still. "I promise to love you forever," Emosh whispered as he held her hands. "And I promise to always stand by you," Ekowo replied. They exchanged their wedding vows and kissed. The crowd cheered them on. It was the happiest day of their life. Ehi sat quietly on her seat like a wedding guest. She never imagined that Ekowo would rise so high despite all she did to her while her Akum was now a young divorcee. This must be karma, she thought to herself. Meanwhile, Akum could not bring herself to attend the wedding. She was too ashamed of herself to do so. She cried every time she remembered that Ekowo was getting married to an heir apparent to the throne that loved and adored her so much. Back in the wedding reception, Emosh and Ekowo danced to the soft music playing as they stared at each other with love. "I promise to love you forever," Emosh whispered. "I love you too, my prince," Ekowo replied. They held each other close, ready to start a new chapter of their life together. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to this channel if you have not done so by now. Kindly share your thought about this story on the comment section. Like and share this video to your family, friends, and loved ones. Until we bring another interesting story your way. For now, it's bye.